Hello everyone, welcome to the ICL Immigration Coffee with Clint video session. Today we are talking about a topic that is an integral part of many immigration applications, and that is proof of funds. The proof of funds requirement forms part of almost every single visa application, and only under some very unique circumstances does the need to prove available funds fall away. This episode will discuss the whens, the whats, the whys, the hows, and when you don't need to prove funds. Proof of funds is how you show IRCC that you have enough money to settle in Canada once you arrive here. If they invite you to apply, you must give written proof that you have this money to bring with you, or your application could be denied. Applicants would need to note that they would not be able to borrow this money from another individual. They would need to use this money for covering the cost of their living expenses and their family expenses. This is applicable even if the family is not accompanying you to Canada as the main applicant. Applicants would also need to provide proof to the Canadian Visa Office in their home countries that they possess sufficient money when they apply to immigrate. It is worth noting that the amount of money that applicants need to support their families typically depends on the size of their families. The authorities revise this information each year. Let's have a quick look on the IRCC website at the proof of funds tables to see what they look like and how they apply to you. So here on the IRCC website we have the page which shows your LICO levels. The best way to get here is simply go to Google and type in proof of funds, and the results that will come up will point you in the right direction to the Government of Canada's website. Okay, so first thing to understand is this is known as a LICO table. LICO means low income cutoff, and these are the minimums that are required based on family sizes. Okay, and there's a few things to understand here so that you're aware of how to calculate these amounts so that you declare the right amounts on your applications. Okay, so basically what you need to notice here is the size of the family. Okay, and here what they're saying is you need to include yourself, your spouse, your dependent children, your spouse's children, and you need to include children even if they are citizens of Canada, permanent residents of Canada, or if they are not coming with you. You need to include them, okay, because that determines the family size. Now, what you'll notice here is numbers from 1 to 7, and there's an amount listed based on each category of family size. So if you're applying as a single person, you need to have a minimum of $12,960. If you were a family of 3, mother, father, and child, you would declare the amount for 3, which is $19,836. Okay, and that's the way it goes forward. But remember, you've got to include those dependents that are not coming with you, or the ones that are already residents in Canada through permanent residence or citizenship. Okay, don't make that mistake of not declaring them. The only time you would not need to prove an amount of funds coming with you to Canada is when you 1. Have a job offer in Canada supported with an LMIA or a PNP nomination, or 2. You are currently working in Canada with valid authorization. Proof of funds is an important part of any immigration application that can make or break an application if you don't understand it correctly, or don't stipulate or show the correct amount of funds as is required by IRCC. The rule is as follows. You need to provide bank statements for the past 6 months in your application, with the average balance of each month shown on a letter from the bank. These average balances for each month must meet the minimum requirement as stipulated for the family size being included on the application and must be available to the applicant. If you have a spouse included on your application, you can also use funds in their account, provided you show you have access to these funds. It's important to understand that IRCC update LICO tables at least once a year. These changes may be slight adjustments to the LICO levels, but they have big impacts on applications. It's important to keep updated as to the changing LICO levels as well as the changes to foreign exchange rates. Your proof of funds must always be at the minimum required and or more, based on the LICO levels and exchange rates. If a change happens which suddenly dips your proof of funds below the minimums and you do not make updates, your application may be refused as it did not meet the minimum requirement. By all means, a gift of cash can be used as proof of funds at any time during the 6-month window needed to provide bank statements. But any large transactions reflecting on the bank statement that are unusual must be explained and proven from where it came. You cannot take out loans for proof of funds, but you can obtain a gift deed, usually issued by a lawyer, that proves the funds were gifted to you and there is no lien on the funds expecting you to pay them back. Some of the mainstream banks offer newcomer packages that would allow you to open an account ahead of arriving, but each have their own requirements. The big 4 banks in Canada are as follows: RBC, CIBC, TD Bank, and Scotiabank. Look them up and see what options they provide for you to open accounts ahead of arriving. Most people, however, only open accounts in the first few days of arriving so that they have full functionality of their account and then do SWIFT transfers from their home country to their Canadian bank accounts. Most countries' foreign Visa and MasterCards work in Canada, so you can still use that cash until you get it out to Canada. Proof of funds can be supplied in various forms, but the one thing to be aware of at all times is that the funds must be available to you within 30 days of them being liquidated. Thus, things like the following can be used should the 30-day window be able to be met, which also needs to be proven and must be issued on an official letterhead of the institution. Bank statements, cash, documents that show property or capital is payable to you, such as stocks, bonds, debentures, treasury bills, deed of sales, pension funds, more specifically if they can be liquidated, documents that guarantee payment of set amount of money which are payable to you, such as bankers' drafts, checks, money orders, travelers' checks. Applicants would need to research the cost of living in a place when they plan to settle in Canada. It is worth noting that applicants would need to bring as much money as they can to make it easier for themselves to move and find a home in Canada. However, as mentioned earlier, applicants would need to declare if they are bringing more than 10,000 Canadian dollars into the country. This is in accordance with the Canadian customs regulations. In case applicants do not inform authorities that they are bringing more than 10,000 Canadian dollars with them into the country, the authorities could levy a fine on them or even put them in prison. And that's a wrap for today's video session where we discuss proof of funds requirements for visa applications. If you need more information, feel free to drop us an email to info@iclimmigration.com or visit our website iclimmigration.com. As always, if you are thinking about immigrating to Canada, it all starts with eligibility. To determine yours, visit our website and click on the button labeled "Do you qualify?" Feedback is provided within 2 business days, along with any viable options that present based on your profile. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the content on your own social channels. It is here to assist everyone. Thanks for joining me today. Stay safe, everyone, and cheers.